Hi folks, Brian here, Geomagnetic Earth Watch on Thursday, September 28, 2023 on our planet. Hope you're all swell. So I want to do an explanation for all the new people here about my Facebook post on the World Magnetic Model. The World Magnetic Model is something that our government's put out on a 5-year interval basis, 2015, 2020, 2025, and basically what it is it shows the field intensity, the strength of the magnetic field over our planet, and where our dipoles are, our magnetic poles. Even though this is dated 2020, this was actually done in 2019. I'll explain in a moment. So this is the north dipole. This is magnetic north off of Siberia, Russia. It was in Nunavut, Canada until 1903. Magnetic south was Antarctica. It is now offshore Antarctica between Antarctica and Australia. Magnetic field lines. It shows the strength of the magnetic field over different areas of the planet. So, the closer or tighter together these red lines, which represent the magnetic field lines, the stronger the magnetic field over that part of the Earth. The wider the part, the magnetic field lines, such as over Canada and northern Canada, the weaker the field intensity or the protection over that area of the planet, more cosmic radiation and more ultraviolet radiation, more fires. This was done in 2019 when the governments found that the magnetic north excursion rapidly began to accelerate. They were in a frantic hurry to update the world magnetic models, which is necessary for GPS and, as I suggested, guidance systems and ICBMs and other military equipment. The U.S. government was shut down at the end of 2018 into 2019 during that time period. I surmise that it was shut down because of the magnetic excursion all of a sudden accelerated. Now, there is a suggestion from an independent researcher that we may be down to a loss of between 30 and 35% based on only the changing colors of the aurora and working its way further south. That is quite possible. However, I align that suggestion to the fact that you're about to have another government shutdown again. There's something about these world magnetic model maps we are never going to see the next updated version again, because we have passed a point of it would show too much to the public, and they cannot have the public knowing just how weak our protective magnetosphere is and the breakdown of those magnetic field lines. Even though most of the public, they're not going to know what the heck this is, okay? They're not going to know. Oh, by the way, like I said before, you know, I'm not like the rest. I don't have fancy graphics, websites, moderators, and it's just me, okay? But I do give you factual information. No fancy word salads. So anyway, in order to have a full, 100% full strength protective magnetic field, such as this one, the magnetic poles need to be more or less in an antipodal position. Doesn't have to be exact, it has to be pretty close to it in order to have neat, organized magnetic field surrounding the Earth. The magnetic field leaves the south magnetic pole regions, encircles our planet, comes around back in through the north magnetic polar cusp. Neat, organized, 100% full strength. However, every 12,000 years, it decides to go on an excursion, leaving its more or less stable position. This results in disorganization, breaking down, weakening of our magnetic field. It leaves us with multiple magnetic norths and multiple magnetic souths. So magnetic north dipole, stronger magnetic pole underneath Russia than Canada. Magnetic south dipole. We also have the weakened South Atlantic anomaly. Gotta butcher my daughter's globe for this. So my red flags are where the magnetic poles were as of 2019. Correction, disregard that. My white flags is where the magnetic poles used to be as of 2019. The red flags are the excursion points, where they were as of 2019. They were in Nunavut, Canada until 1903. Then it started as beeline excursion over axial North Pole and is now heading into Siberia. If it turns out to be an excursion only, which is up to 45 degrees from their point of departure, it'll settle somewhere in Siberia, Russia. Again, white flag, where magnetic south used to be, Antarctica, where it is now. If they continue beyond the excursion point, my blue line, the meeting place will be anywhere between the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. Doesn't matter what it's going to be, an excursion or a full geomagnetic reversal. The last full geomagnetic reversal was 780,000 years ago. It is 500,000 years past due. Doesn't matter. What matters, and the point is our protective magnetosphere is already severely weakening. Most of us will be dead before it reaches this point. One more visualization. If this compass is our Earth, if this magnet is a larger celestial body coming in with its own magnetic field, electromagnetic field, this is what's going to happen. Let's just say this comes around every 3,657 years approximately. As it draws closer and closer and closer to our planet, watch the needle. Okay, well, very crude, but you get my point. See? It's going to create a pole on the outer core where a magnetic field is generated from, and it's going to flip the poles, or at the very least, depending on how close that planetary system comes, causing an excursion such as we are on right now. That, folks, is a 12,000 year process. every 42,000 years, it becomes an extinction level event. The last one was 42,000 years ago. So when you look at things scientifically, what that effect will have on our planet, such as it is already affecting the rest of the planets in our solar system and beginning to show the changes on our planet Earth. Heating of the outer core. That heat, that rising hotter magma has to go somewhere. It's coming up the mantle plumes to the underside of the lithosphere. So that is what I meant by the World Magnetic Model Field Intensity Map. I mean, from this, in the past, at least we can figure out where our increased rates of cancer risks are going to be, flooding, fires, things like that. Again, we're not going to see this ever again. This is old. This was done in 2019. I don't entertain or get into arguments. Well, it's an excursion or a reversal. It's 25% down, it's 30, 35% down. Pay attention to how our planet and its inhabitants are responding to the increased levels of cosmic radiation, the highly charged particles coming in. Its inhabitants include our animals and our animals in the oceans. How they are responding and what they're trying to tell us, such as the orcas and the dolphins. The jet streams. I can't remember if I already showed you. So again, red flags, where our magnetic poles were 4 years ago, and they are drawing closer to each other. Okay, they're drawing closer to each other. As they do, on the opposite side of the world, that distance increases. And that increased distance weakens that section of the magnetic field. What's on the opposite side of the excursion points? North America, Central America, South America, where our jet streams are destabilizing more than anywhere else in the world. Yeah, I think that's about it. So the magnetic excursion actually happened in September 1859 from the Carrington event. The Carrington event was an X approximately 40-45 class solar flare that popped off from the sun, hit the planet, gave magnetic north a kick in the butt and said, get going. It headed to Nunavut, Canada, and then 1903, approximately, it started its beeline excursion away from Canada. It's already crossed over Santa Claus North Pole and was heading into Siberia. Pay attention to your emergency broadcast system test on October 4th. I just read a news article that Russia is going to perform some nationwide nuclear test on October 3rd. I haven't had time to check. Is there October 3rd, your October 4th? I don't know. International dateline, right? I wouldn't know what to suggest for that. If I was on your system network, I'd take my phones, I'd shut them off, I'd pull out the SD cards, wrap them up in something, and bury them in my vegetable garden for 24 hours. You're going to find out from other sources what, if anything, happened. You know what? Nothing may happen. Nothing at all may happen. We in Canada, we already had that. Okay, we had that already. More than once. Yes, our governments are getting ready for something. most likely orchestrated something, planned something, because they know about this getting closer and closer and closer, something. Oh, look at that, and then something happens. 15 minutes. That's it for now. Have a swell day.